Shabbat Shalom. Someone out there earlier said, Rabbi, with everything happening, I hope you wrote a sermon for today. And I said I did twice. The one for earlier in the week and the one in the hours before Shabbat. Because earlier in the week, the world seemed like it was a little bit of a scary place. And it keeps getting scarier and scarier and scarier. And there's a question that I have in a moment like this, and I'll pull back the curtain for just a moment, which is, what's the point of this sermon moment right now? It's, I will tell you, my favorite thing in the world. To connect with everyone in this room, to guests, hi, welcome, it's nice to have you. To get to speak, to have the honor that you listen to me, and to try to share from our tradition words of wisdom or hope, of inspiration, of nuance. And when things in the world are happening the way that they are, then the question becomes, what is our role in this place? And there was a time when the rabbi was the news giver. That was the role of the rabbi for many, many, many years, was someone who had access either through language or communication to news sources that other people didn't have. And so then a very important role was to stand here and synthesize a little bit about what's going on in the world, to offer some commentary to it. And I say this knowing that he is standing or sitting right over there. But Rabbi Cooper is a master of this craft. And, sorry. It's like the fourth time in a row I've complimented you. I got to stop soon. But it's true. I'm in awe of his ability to read, to know what's going on, to give some idea. And he's got news sources that I can't find. But it's not the kind of rabbi that I am. I think that I follow the same people on Twitter that you do. I have the same access that you do, and I don't have any great geopolitical chops. I was a member of the Council on Foreign Relations for 7 years, and I learned that I don't know anything about what's going on in the world. And I'm not sure exactly if that's the way that I want to approach this. I think that for us in this moment, there is a lot that's happening. In Israel, in Iran, we're going to talk a little bit about it, I promise. But I also have friends who are hiding. We have family members in this room who are fighting, who are in and out of their shelters, and I have no political nuance to offer them, only hope and prayer. When I found out about the attack, I was sitting in a room. A friend and mentor of mine was being honored in the other Westchester, in New Rochelle. And I was there in a room with about a dozen rabbis sitting in one row. And while our friend was giving a speech, he was being honored at his synagogue's galley. He's been there for 10 years, etc. All of our phones started to beep and ring and buzz at exactly the same time. And without any of us going into our pocket, we just looked at each other and we said, Iran. We knew that's the only thing that it could be that would hit all of us. And I looked up at this teacher, and with a new sense of urgency and anxiety and fear, and without him even knowing what was going on because he was speaking, he spoke directly to my soul. And he is... I say this again, Rabbi Cooper is great. This guy might be the holiest, best rabbi in America today. And he said, I don't want to talk about the last 10 years, I want to talk about the next 10 years. And I want to talk about the problems that we're going to face. And what he said was, I'm not worried about anti-Semitism. And I'm not worried about Israel. It's strong. We'll be okay. I'm not worried about the way that technology is going to change our social relationships, and I'm not overly worried about normalizing a leadership that dehumanizes and is cruel to others. What I'm most worried about, he said, is what all of those things are going to do to us. Because they're going to push us to step away, and they're going to push us, he said, to be cynical. And that, for this rabbi, is the greatest sin that we could have, cynicism. Cynicism asks us to step back. Cynicism, in fact, doesn't really ask much of us at all. You don't have to care. You don't have to try. You just have to denigrate and be upset. And it masquerades as wisdom, but it's not wise to be cynical. Cynicism isn't what we need. And when I think about everything that has happened in the last 24 hours, most of which I've been awake, most of which I've had my phone on with its alerts, don't tell God. It's not cynicism that's going to make me feel better. It's hope. It's hope that Israel is going to be okay. It's hope that what Israel has done was, frankly, for the betterment of the world. And mixed with the hope is a measure of pride at the way that the attack was carried out. And it seems like hopefully civilians were not targeted and mitigated, and please God, that is true. I forgot to say one line, which is, in the honor of this, not cynicism, I'm just telling you everything I think as I think it right now. I'm just being fully myself. And the hope that I have for the way that Israel carried this out and hopefully will continue to comport itself is matched with some anger at the way that Israel has comported itself in other arenas. And the hope that this will lead to a better Israel, that this will lead to a safer Middle East, a safer world. I have great hope that those things will be true. I have great hope and faith that our family and our friends will be safe. That, never mind. That the children of this synagogue who are currently in uniform will stay safe and will comport themselves the way we know that they will, with honor and glory and grace. And that our friends, members of our synagogue, members of our family who are in and out of their shelters, a friend of ours who had the horrific realization that the ma'amad in her building, the shelter, that's the safe room, might not actually be safe for the kind of missiles that are coming their way. And I hope that she never has to find out. With the hope is also gratitude. Sorry, one last hope. And I hope that we will all find a way to both show our support for the state of Israel, to show our solidarity, as we also ensure that our unique voices are heard in Israel and are listened to by those in power. And with that, I find myself feeling gratitude. Gratitude at the leaders in our community, at the leaders who keep us safe, at the leaders who help organize us. I am grateful for everyone in Israel who has given their lives, their livelihoods to us being liot am chofshi b'artzeinu, to be a free people in our own land. It is a great, great gift that they give to all of us here, that they are there and helping to make Israel the home that we need it to be. And there's a story in our parsha that we just read. There's a moment where the people are entering the land, and Moses turns to his father-in-law, known in this line as Chovav, but also known as Yitro, and says, Dad, you're coming too, right, into the land. And the commentaries in that moment, they go a little wide-eyed. Because Yitro, famously, is not an Israelite. He's not part of the people. His daughter Tzipporah came in, but he's a high priest of Midian. He's somebody else. And so the rabbis go back and forth about what does that mean? Oh, it must mean he converted. Oh, it must mean he didn't. Oh, it's that he's coming in. It's coming into this part of the land. It's not this part of the land. It's how could Moses share? And the Maggid of Dubno says, well, it's like this. And he tells a story. He says that once there was a shopkeeper and a local merchant was in town, and this was one of the best buyers for this shopkeep. So he says, hey, buddy, why don't you come to my house for lunch today? And the merchant says, really? Why do you want to have me for lunch? And the shopkeeper says, you're probably hungry. I want you to be well fed. Come over for lunch. So the merchant goes and he brings with him all of his VPs, all of his vice presidents, right, of his corporation. And the shopkeeper says, what are you doing, man? I just invited you. Why'd you bring all these other people? He goes, oh, sorry. Next week, merchant comes back. Shopkeeper says, hey, why don't you come over for lunch today? It's good to see you. Merchant sort of knows the deal, says, well, why do you want to have me for lunch today? And the shopkeeper says, I made such a spread. I want to host you. I want you to be my guest. We've got baked fish. We've got roast chicken. We've got breads and breads and breads. We have all the food. Please come. So the merchant shows up to the shopkeeper's house without anybody else. And the shopkeeper says, hey, wait, where's everybody at? Where's your interns? Where's the whole crew? Why didn't you bring them this time? And the merchant says, well, come on, man. The last time you said not to. How am I supposed to know? And the shopkeeper says, well, before I said I wanted you to not be hungry. And that meant just you. But when I tell you all of the amazing things that we have, the whole point of that is so that you'll bring other people along. So too, says the Maggid of Dubno, Moses and God are in the same situation. And God is laying out the land of Israel for Moses and saying it is full of wonderful things. It is full of milk and honey, and there is room to spare, and it's going to be a great place. And God means bring everybody. You got to join us. It's going to be wonderful. And that's why Moses turns and asks Yitro to come with him. And one of our other commentaries, Kliyakar, goes even further and reads it as when Moses offers Yitro just the material goods of the land of Israel, of which there are many, thank God, Yitro says, nah, I'm fine. I got stuff here in Midian. We got sheep. We got goats. We got all the things that we need. We don't need to go to Israel. And then Moses, we're told, makes clear the vast spiritual reward for being a part of the land of Israel. Mezik avir chokhmah, the land, the air of Israel makes one wiser. Machkim, I got the quote wrong. And then Yitro says, oh, tell me more. There's a great spirit there. I want to be a part of that. Israel, both the people of Israel in us and the land of Israel over there, is full of wonderful things. And to think that we don't have enough to go around is a small-mindedness not worthy of a great nation. We have so much that we can offer, and we can bring everyone in with us. And part of what it means to stand for Israel is to stand for all of Israel. Israel is a nation of laws, and it is a nation of open laws. It is a nation that has some of the greatest protections for minorities of anyone around it, of anyone in the developed world. It is a place that we should and can and will be proud of because it is a place that can welcome others in. And we are also a community full of great things. We are full of rewards, both material and spiritual, to be a part of this place. And we should be a community that welcomes people in, that says, we have plenty. Come, have you tried the fish? It's great. And I hope and pray that we are that place and that we continue to be that place, because it is what the world needs us to be. And frankly, because we simply can't exist without it. We can't exist without other people. The state of Israel cannot exist without the help of the rest of the world. It just can't. And the Jewish people in this country, the same thing. We need the help and the blessings of others. We need to be a part of the world. And we need to stand up for our values while also welcoming others in. And I want to leave you with one last thing, because not only do I know that that's true, but so does the state of Israel. And they gave us a hint in the name of the operation that they carried out last week, 2 days ago. It is known as, anyone, Operation Rising Lion. Right, now here is your trivia for the day. Where does that come from? What you got, Jonathan? Yeah? Okay, so it's about the previous Iranian flag, and that had a lion and a sun on it, and that this is about trying to overthrow the current regime. But as I said, I'm not talking geopolitics here because I don't know what I'm talking about. Right. Right. B'merabi Ameinu, may it speedily come in our days, Amen. Yes. 100%. That is one reference, but the other is from our own culture, from our own tradition, from our own book, from a parsha that's going to show up in like 2 weeks, right? From the book of Bamidbar, when it is spoken of Israel that we shall hen aim kalavi yakum, that we will rise like a lion, uche'ari naseh, we will raise ourselves up, we will leap like a lion. It shows up, and it comes in a blessing that is given to the people of Israel by, here's your last trivia, and it's for all the marbles and the first brownie at Kiddush. Who speaks those words to Israel? What? Balaam. Was that what you said, person that I couldn't hear? Balaam, you get the first brownie. Right? It comes from the words of a non-Jew, of a non-Israelite, from Balaam, who has his own relationship to God in some way. And Balak comes to him and says, I got this people, I need you to curse them. And Balaam is like, I can only do it if Hashem says it's okay. And Balak's like, what are you talking about? And Balaam's like, you'll see. And then they get up there, and Balaam goes to curse the people of Israel, and he can't, because God won't put curses in his mouth, thank God. And so instead he blesses the people with this line, that you will rise like a lion, that you will leap like a lion. And Israel, I believe, named this thematically because it rose like a lion in surprise of its enemies. But there is another rising lion in our tradition that I want to end us with. Because the first law in the Shulchan Aruch, the great law code of our people, Yosef Karo in the Middle Ages, the very first law reads, Yitgaber ki'ari baboker la'avodat boro. The very first thing a Jew should do in the morning is Yitgaber, to strengthen oneself, ki'ari, like a lion. Every morning, strengthen yourself like a lion for the service of our Creator. And the Ber Hetiv don't worry about it. A commentary on this says, what does it mean to strengthen yourself like a lion? Yitgabur clearly means, from the Mishnah in Perkei Avot, that you should lichvosh et yetzer hara, that you have to conquer your evil inclination. So every morning when we wake like a lion, that means that we conquer our evil inclination. For some of us, that first evil inclination is the desire to hit the snooze button and go back to bed. Or the second or third time to hit the snooze button and go back to bed. But then, all day long, we're confronted with our evil inclination. With the desire to be cynical. With the desire to hate, to exclude. And all day long we have to, lichvosh et yetzer hara. We have to subdue that inclination. We have to wake up every morning and make the choice to be like a lion, to fight for what we believe in and what is right, to accept others and to share the bounty that we have and know that it will not diminish who we are. It will not make us any less than. It will, in fact, make us greater than. What does it mean to be a community that is diverse, that is wonderful in all of the people that it has in it? It means we are stronger. We are stronger because we recognize all of the members of our community, whatever their age, whatever their sexual orientation, whatever their religion. The members of our community are a part of our community, and we are stronger and better for it. Now, we know that our brothers and sisters and friends in Israel, we will yitgaber ka'ari baboker tomorrow because they have to. They have no other choice than to wake up every day and serve their country no matter what they are doing. It is their fate. It is what they are doing, and we must support them and love them and praise them as they fight for our homeland. And each of us need to yitgaber ka'ari baboker tomorrow morning as well, and make the decision to be like a lion, not necessarily in fighting others, but in fighting ourselves. In fighting the cynicism, the apathy, the hate that will rightly bubble to the surface when we look at a world around us on fire. We need to be like lions who can fight for the good. We need to be like lions who can keep ourselves fighting for what's right. And we need to yitgaber ka'ari to serve God in all things. Shabbat Shalom.